Alright, today is Super Autopets update day. At least at time of recording, the update is out on Steam and itch. I assume it will be on mobile before the end of the day. I'm not entirely sure. But this is the launch of Minipack 3. Now, we're not actually going to look at any Minipack footage here. At least the new Minipack, because the Olm, which we're going to focus on in this run, is from the second Minipack, I think it was. But yeah, Minipack 3 is out, and if you already have the subscription, you'll automatically get access to it. If you bought the bundle from the web store, I believe you'll also get access to it. Maybe someone in the comments can confirm that, who bought the bundle, because obviously I did not, given that I already owned everything. But the new Minipack is really interesting, and I'm looking forward to building a lot of different teams with the contents of the pack. There are a bunch of things in this update that have been on my list for a long time, so it's really cool to see them finally get implemented, and they're going to enable a lot of different builds, I think. But onto this run. Now, of course, as per usual with any update, we're going to continue on with all the other many and various runs that I have recorded waiting to be uploaded. And this one, I can't remember what inspired me to do this. I'm sure it was someone else. You know, it was like either watching someone else's channel on YouTube, or a comment, or maybe someone posted in the Discord. I can't remember exactly. But I wanted to make a team with Olm, which is one of those units that I never really use. It has a pretty unusual ability. It will give Spooked to an opponent on Feint, but the strength of the Spooked will be multiplied for every roll. So if you don't roll at all, I think it still gives Spooked, but it's just the base level Spooked. So you'd only do 1 extra damage for every hit. But you can roll as many times as you want, and just keep on increasing the extra damage that you'll deal. So you can see there that snipe dealt 12 damage. And we're going to try and take advantage of that using Anubis to multiply the effect of the Olm. And then I'm going to give the Olms a popcorn so that we get some extra summons. So even if they're very tiny summons, they should be doing a lot of damage because of the Spooked multiplication. We're not quite at that stage yet. You know, once we get the higher level Olms, then we can proceed with trying to just roll as many times as possible. Like, for instance, here, this team looked like we would never have a chance against them. And we only have 1 level 2 Olm. But we still just did a ridiculous amount of damage because of the multiplied Spooked. So I think at this point, I'm probably only going to buy 1 thing per turn. And just keep on buying, and keep on rolling in order to generate the most amount of damage possible. Now, this is a pretty funny sequence here where we get Wombat from the popcorn, and then it copies the boxfish. Not sure I've ever had a game where Wombat copied Boxfish. Then we also get another 2020 unit from their Boxfish. Yeah, sometimes all the odd units come out to play at the same time. So yeah, of course the benefit with this build is the fact that Anubis does not need to be above level 1. So you just buy it and put churros on it, and then immediately it's going to work at start of battle on the multiple Olms with no additional effort. Here's another absolutely massive team. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get through this squad. I think we might have needed the Fairy Armadillo to get hit by the level 2 Olm. Yeah, it's not even going to be close. Although I feel like I am going to face this team again later on in the video. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, so I think while I'm still on 2 hearts, I am willing to spend 6 gold per turn. But once we get down to 1 heart, we're just going to have to roll as many times as possible to try and stay alive. Luckily, this team just doesn't really need much scaling. You know, we're completely reliant on not facing certain opposing teams, like, for instance, this one, which has the iguana in it, which is kind of unfortunate, given that I was trying to record this at the time. There were a lot of these iguana teams on the go. So we do go down to 1 heart. And I think that means from now on, I'm only going to buy 1 thing. Yeah. Probably should think about replacing the cherry on the blue dragon. We could put churros there as well. I think if I remember rightly, the reasoning for having the cherry there was because I had desert rainfrog in the pack. So if the desert rainfrog spawns from popcorn, the cherry is needed to make it activate. And I think we did actually see that in one battle there. I forget what the rainfrog turned into. I think it was maybe skeleton dog. But then here on turn 16, we get matched with Meris playing this somewhat broken hooded seal team. So unfortunately, we just didn't have anywhere near enough to have a chance against this. But we're not done there. We're going to come back in a second after a quick intermission. Due to the update today, the web store has also been updated. So here you can see me. It's just teamwoodgames.com. I've logged in as my normal account, and you can now see that, as promised in a previous video, it's possible to buy gifts for other players using the web store. So this is super useful because I own everything else already. There's nothing left for me to buy. Mini Pack 3 doesn't show up because I already have it as well. And this actually supports buying multiple pack gifts at the same time, which is something that you can't do in Steam. You have to buy them one at a time. So hopefully that's going to be a time saver going forwards the next time we do any giveaways. So big thank you to Team Wood for making that possible. Okay, next run. So what did we learn from the first run? Probably that popcorn on a tier 2 is not going to be strong enough, even if I have rigged the tier 2s to be all, strong summon pets. Although you can get nested summons from popcorn, if you get like Stork into another summon, or what else? I mean, we saw Desert Rainfrog earlier, so that could potentially produce a summon as well. Ultimately, I don't necessarily think it's the best. We've got Faint Bread here as well, of course, as an alternative to popcorn in the early turns. And Faint Bread can be fine, but you can also generate units like Cricket, which can potentially give the opposing team, multiple activations on Snake or other friend ahead units. So ultimately I decided that the way to go here was Monty. So we're going to put Easter Egg on all 3 of the Olms, and I think maybe I'm going to put popcorn on the blue dragon at the back. I can't remember exactly what happens here. But the damage output from Monty with multiplied ailments is going to be so much higher. This is kind of funny here where they had a microbe. So unfortunately we're going to get hard countered by the whale shark. Nice to see that person not playing a hurt team. Or maybe they did have a hurt pet, did they? Was it Camel? Yeah. I spoke too soon, I guess. But yeah, this type of opponent here is the absolute perfect type of opponent for this team. A 3 attack Monty doing 22 damage. So we're just going to absolutely cut through this scaling team. Okay, we didn't quite have enough there. The dragon hung on with 1 HP, but once we get the Olms to level 2, the damage from Monty is going to be so much more extreme. And we do get the Easter Egg, so I should take that. Yeah, still on 3 hearts, so we can definitely spend some gold. And having the level 2 Olm does make a huge difference as well. Unfortunately, we'll lose the Easter Egg because of the Boitata's ability here. But I think we should still be fine. Yeah. Even though the sea turtle replaces the Spooked with Melon. So I think, yeah, I should just take the other Olm now. Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately here, we are going to get hard countered by this Lynx team. Unfortunately, that particular opponent was playing Lynx, at the same time as I was trying to record this. So there were quite a few rounds that looked very similar to that, where my whole team got wiped. And then here's level 3 Dolphin as well. Kind of odd that they've got the Fur-bearing Trout right at the back of the team. But since we've upgraded to having popcorn on the blue dragon at the back, we do scrape the win. So now I don't think there's any need to go for level 3 Olm. You know, if you roll 10 times, each spooked is going to be basically doing an extra 20 damage. So here we go, you can see it's the same person again. But this time we're going to scrape a draw because we get the doggo from the Patagonian Mara at the end. So although this team looks incredibly fragile, you know, there are still circumstances where it can survive. Oh, it looks like I am going to go for level 3 Olm. I suppose we are on turn 17, so if we can get to the point where pets are getting immediately knocked out by one hit because of the number of rolls, then we'll be in a good spot. Another team where we end up missing out on the Montes. But I don't think it's going to make any difference. Yeah, 3 attack Anubis doing 17 damage. It's just so devastating against quite a wide range of teams. Now, as powerful as this looks, this is actually not that strong a team. I mean, it definitely does look very strong at times, but there are so many things that can completely ruin this. Of course, I've picked the best runs that I had, and I think you can see here, yeah, we end up losing to the summon from the whale. Turn 19 now, so really you're only expecting to go against either draw teams like that last one, or massive scaling squads. Now, look at this one. We've got Mantis plus another 50-50 at the front and the reindeer. But see how much damage the reindeer takes from Monty. And we actually draw. Now that seemed almost completely insurmountable, especially since the reindeer was able to overwrite the spooked. Turn 20, we face another team that has almost full level 3s, but with a whole turn of rolling, Monty is now doing, close to 50 damage. And even the tiny little mana snipes are doing huge damage. Their one attack Monty did 42 damage, which is ridiculous to think of. I don't even really need to freeze the Olms here. I was kind of wishing to see a sloth there, so it would be a bit more amusing instead of just rolling the whole turn away. But you can see this team is almost full 50-50s, and we still have 2 pets left at the end because the damage output from the spooked plus Monty was just so extreme. And then lastly, we're going to add some more clips from one of the other runs that I had. There were quite a lot of fun rounds of this where, you show up with a very tiny team and then you just completely demolish a huge opponent. This one's a tie with Yogru because the Nyala had already activated, had already summoned a Golden Retriever earlier on. And I think this is the same team from earlier that I was mentioning. Or maybe it's just a very similar one. The one that had the Fairy Armadillo before. And, even with level 2 Amargasaurus, we do so much damage that they're not able to keep their units alive. Another one here where we lose a bunch of units due to the Lynx. But I think, yeah, we still win, purely based on the summons. I guess because our units are so weak, the Toad doesn't get the chance to actually remove the equipment. But now on 9 wins, turn 16, we face Matchman, and unfortunately Matchman has the Ambrosia here, which is going to be the Kryptonite to the Olm. Actually, it gets replaced by Peanut Butter in the end anyway. Any perk-giving unit that heals the spooked is going to be pretty detrimental to our build. And then likewise here, this team has the toy, which Anubis does go before the toy with Churros. That does mean that the spook gets overwritten by Coconut, and we get absolutely crushed.